Hey friends, welcome back. I wanted to film in today's Get Ready With Me. I wanted to use another one of the Morphe eyeshadow palettes, and I'm going to be using this one in Rose Frequency. I love the packaging on this. Like, it looks so cute with my background. I'm going to have it sit like right here whenever I'm not using it. I just think it looks so pretty. So I love the packaging on this, but like I also love the shades in this. Like these are shades that I just gravitate towards all of the time. Like I love like these rosy type of shades. So I'm going to be using this palette today. And then I wanted to use another one of the blushes that I had picked up from Morphe. And then I have some like other products that like I want to reuse. Like I want to test this out again, the L'Oreal Skin Ink. Maybe I'll do a wear test in this. Yeah, so let's do a wear test on this today. So I'll come back at the end of the video in 10 hours because I'm going to work this morning. So I just want to see how that wears with like powder products, like with powder bronzers and blushes, because last time I used that Morphe cream bronzer with it and I don't feel like that worked well without foundation. So I just want to see how that works. And then I want to use this Revlon ColorStay FlexWear concealer again in this shade. This is in shade Light. So I want to see how I feel about that because I did pick up this shade in Vanilla and I just feel like it's too, I don't know, like it's too light or something for me right now anyways. So I just have some other products that I haven't used in a bit that I want to kind of revisit. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So I did my skincare off camera. I just used my sunscreen. So I'll have that link down below, but yeah, let's just go ahead and use the L'Oreal Skin Ink, and the shade that I have in this is an 80 Warm. So if you haven't seen my other video where I used this for the first time, like this is supposed to be like a hybrid foundation concealer situation. So I'm not going to use this as my concealer today. Like I'm just going to use it as my foundation. It is like really light coverage. It's very matte, like it sets up. You don't really need a powder with it. I mainly want to test it again because I want to see how long wearing it is. I felt like when I used it, I've got like sleep lines on my face. I felt like when I used it with that Morphe cream bronzer, like it just did not wear well. And I think it was mostly because of the bronzer, but yeah. So anyway, it's got the little doe foot applicator. I mean, even if this foundation works out really well, I'm not even for sure that I would really recommend this to people just because of the price tag on this. Like you get half of a fluid ounce. So not even like a standard fluid ounce, you know, pretty much every foundation comes with 1 fluid ounce. So you get a half of a fluid ounce and it's $18.99 at Ulta. Like if this was a full 1 fluid ounce, you would be paying like 40 bucks for this, or at least close to it. And that's basically high-end pricing. So I just feel like for drugstore, that's way too expensive. Like you're basically high-end L'Oreal. And I know that like L'Oreal is higher end for drugstore, you know what I'm saying? Like their prices are usually some of the most expensive at the drugstore, but like, I don't know. Like, what are you thinking, L'Oreal? But here I am. I purchased it and I'm using it. So I guess people will buy it. So they're going to sell it. But I mean, I do like the finish on this, at least when I first apply it. It's matte, but I wouldn't say that it looks like a dull matte. Like it's got maybe a slight bit of luminosity to it. Could just be because I have like my sunscreen on underneath, so it's creating some glow underneath the foundation. But I mean, it blends out nice. And it looks nice on the skin, at least at first. So I'll just see how it wears. I do remember when I wore it for the very first time, it did get a lot more like luminous throughout the day, which that tends to happen on me because my skin's a bit more on like the oily side, especially in the summer. Okay, so yeah, that's all blended out. I mean, honestly, like it looks beautiful on the skin. I feel like it's like undetectable. It looks really nice. So, you know, if it was a high-end foundation, like maybe we would really like this, but I feel like a lot of people have complained because just of the cost of it. Okay, so I've got the Revlon FlexWear. This, like I said, this is in the shade Light. This is a little bit more yellow in tone. So I just don't know if this is going to be too yellowish, too light. I don't know. It's like I cannot figure out like my shade that I need in this FlexWear. I don't know. This actually doesn't look too bad. I know in the winter this was like too yellow on me, but now in the summer that I've gotten just like slightly a little bit more sun. And that foundation has a bit more of like a yellowish undertone, that L'Oreal foundation. So these do pair well together, like tone-wise. But yeah, the finish and everything on this Revlon FlexWear is very comparable to Tarte Shape Tape. So if you want like a full coverage, long wearing type of concealer, this is your concealer. I did see that Essence has come out with like a stick foundation, and I am curious about that. I'm just trying to figure out like what shade I want to order in that. So I've got like several different shades in my cart, my Ulta shopping cart. So, and I'm also kind of waiting to see like, is Ulta going to drop some other new things that I could maybe get with that, or maybe I could just order that Essence foundation off of Essence and get like a bunch of other Essence products. Like, are there some other like Essence products that you would like for me to review? Let me know in the comments. So maybe I could just order that foundation off of Essence. So I do want to maybe take a little bit of this concealer on my nose. Do I? Maybe not. Let's not today, just so I can see how this foundation wears by itself. And I'm going to take the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection Powder to set the concealer. Like I said, this foundation really does not need a powder to set. So I'm probably going to test it out today without setting it with the powder, see how it holds up. And then maybe another day this week, I can try it again with powder and see, you know, how that wears. I'm just going to use some of the Vaseline Rosy Lips to condition my lips. Okay, and then for my brows, I'm just going to fill them in with this CoverGirl brow pencil. I'm like, does this even say ultra fine brow pencil? And this is in the shade Soft Brown. But I just wanted to thank you guys for your sweet comments on my, I guess it wasn't my last video, but my video before that one. Just saying that you're praying that I don't get laid off from my job. So thank you guys so much for all of your well wishes with that. I mean, honestly, for myself, like, I mean, it's definitely would be better to not be laid off and to keep my job, but I'm really not worried about it. But definitely thank you for your well wishes and prayers and everything. Like, I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of ready for like a different chapter in my life. Like, I mean, I know I could just go and get a different job, which if I get laid off, I probably will at some point. But I kind of want like another shot at YouTube to really go full force with it. Because like I was telling you guys in my last, well, in that video where I was telling you guys I might get laid off, I just could have given more to YouTube whenever I was laid off last summer. And I think I was just trying to emotionally heal from being laid off. So I would love to get the opportunity again to just really see what I can do here. But, you know, but maybe I won't get laid off and I'll continue on with my job. So, I mean, either way, it's going to be good. I'm so grateful that everything happened the way that it did, even though it was painful, just because it led me back to YouTube and back to filming videos regularly for you guys. Like, I just love filming videos. I love testing makeup. It's just such a passion. And then I'm going to use the Maybelline Super Lock Tinted Brow Gel. This is in the shade Deep Brown. And I always like kind of get the excess product off on the lid here, just because it can get kind of gloopy, goopy if you don't wipe it off. But right now, this is like my absolute favorite brow gel, besides the fact that it can be kind of gloopy. Come on. And I like the formula. It does keep the brows held up pretty well throughout the day. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyelids with the Milani eyeshadow primer. It's like, honestly too, I was looking at the cover on this Rose Frequency, and you think that this is a rose that it's a picture of, but I think this is like a painting of a rose, like if you look really closely at it. But I just think that that image is so beautiful. Okay. I'm going to use the Morphe M332, and I'm going to first go in with the shade here. And I used this palette for the first time yesterday, and I loved the eye look. So I'm going to try to recreate the eye look that I did with this palette yesterday. So just blending that in the crease, a little bit here in the outer V. Then I'm going to go in with the shade. And then also too with this palette, there's 6 matte shades, and then there's 5 like shimmers, and then you've got a shade here that's kind of like a matte with like glitter in it. So that's kind of the finishes on the shadows in this. And I'm going to focus this color a little bit more in the outer V area. And just slowly kind of pull it in. I just really love this Morphe brush. It's such a good versatile brush to, you know, blend stuff in the outer V and the crease. So I really like this. And like these shades blend out so nicely, like the mattes, so pretty. I'm gonna go back with a little bit more of that first shade that I used in the crease. Just go around the edges. Okay, I'm taking more of that darker pink that I used in the outer V, and I'm gonna blend this here on the lower lashes. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of the darkest color in this palette. Let's get a little bit on the tip of this, and I'm just gonna really focus this right here in the outer V. Try not to blend it out too far. Just want to deepen this up. So just slowly working that shade around just to blend it out. Then I'm going to wipe the brush off and get some more of the very first shade that I used in the crease. Just go around the edges. I'm taking some more of that dark purple shade on the tip of this Sigma E25, and I'm just going to lightly blend some of that down here. just to deepen up the lower lash line. Kind of connect it to the outer V. For the brow bone highlight, I'm just using this angled e.l.f. brush in the shade, the lightest shade in the palette. It's this light baby pink color. And I'm going to brush that here on my brow bone. Okay, so like this could be a good base for any of the shimmers in this palette. So you could really go all kinds of different ways with this. Yesterday I used this shade right here and it was really pretty. I'm debating on if I want to use that shade again or if I want to try a different color. Like I really want to try this shade out on the lid. So let's use that one today. So I just packed that shade on the Morphe M303. And I'm just gonna pat this here on the lid. This is a nice, pretty, like berry shade. It's very pigmented. I am getting like quite a bit of like kick up in the pan here. And I did get a little bit of fallout on my face. Like that is probably my only complaint about some of the Morphe, some of these palettes, is with the shimmers. They do have a tendency to want to have fallout. Even if you tap your brush off well. I think like maybe they're just like the type of shimmers that work better applied with your finger than brushes, like to help minimize fallout. But I'm just not like a finger like type of eyeshadow application type of person. So just keep that in mind with the shimmers. Yeah, on this side I was trying to be really careful, but I still got some. Like I'm gonna go back with some of that on my finger and just kind of, and I feel like this shade has a slight like duochrome to it. Almost like where it looks kind of brown, sort of. I don't really know how to explain like the duochrome, but it's got a little bit of a duochrome in it. And then I'm gonna go back with like just like a clean blending brush. Yeah, let's use this. This is just the Sigma E25, which is basically the same sort of brush shape as that Morphe M332. 332, however you want to say it. And I'm just gonna kind of blend right there. I felt like, okay, yeah, I really like this eye look. This might be more like fall looking, but I can do fall vibes when any time of the year. And then let's go in with this lightest shimmer right here. And I'm gonna use that as like my inner corner highlight and to just kind of lighten the inner portion of my eyelid up a little bit right in here. And I think let's take a little bit of this shimmer right here. I'm just taking it on that same sort of angled type of brush. I'm just gonna kind of brush it right in here. That shade's really pretty. Maybe that would look good in the inner corner too. I just want to lighten up like this inner corner part of the eyelid. Then I'm just taking the Morphe M401 and that darkest shade in the palette, and I'm gonna just deepen up this outer corner of the upper lash line, like kind of do a little bit of like a smoked out half liner situation. Just because I want that area to be just like a little bit darker, a little bit lifted. just to kind of balance out like the lower lash line where I made it so smoky. Yeah, I do kind of feel like I wish I would have done my eyeshadow first before I did my face makeup, just because I did get a little bit more fallout with this than even that I did yesterday. I don't think I got this much fallout with it, so I'm not really for sure what I did today different than yesterday, but I'm gonna, it's like, I guess too, I did use that different eyelid shade today. So I think maybe that one had a little bit more fallout, but like I felt like the dark shades even had a little bit more fallout than yesterday. But I'm just gonna take a little bit more concealer. Normally I don't do this because it can kind of cake up, but I just felt like it got shadowed right in that area. And I want to brighten that up. Don't want to look too shadowed. So yeah, I would just say, like I said, to do the eyeshadow portion before you do foundation. But oh my gosh, like this is such a beautiful rosy eye. I love it so much. But yeah, all of these Morphe palettes so far have been a hit. I still need to use the Moon Dust one. I think that's what that one's called. It's like the cool toned one. So probably my next video, I'm gonna do those new e.l.f. products because they're supposed to come in today. And then after that one, I'll probably film the last Morphe palette tutorial or, you know, look. Though I can't really decide, like part of me wants to film like 3 looks, 1 palette, or, you know, multiple looks with each of these Morphe palettes, just because I think that would be nice to just have like standalone videos with all the different looks that, you know, kind of like my go-to looks with those palettes. So I'm just bronzing with the Milani Silky Matte. This is in Sunlight. I have not used this Morphe bronzer in so long, and I wanted to just like revisit it again. And I'm just using this Profusion buffing foundation brush just to kind of place the bronzer first. And then I'm going to go in with the Sigma F30 to just diffuse this bronzer everywhere where like the sun would naturally bronze my skin. And this is already working out better with this foundation, this powder bronzer, as opposed to like a cream. I just think because this foundation sets up well, like you can't really use like an oil based kind of product on top of it, like those stick bronzers. Okay, so nothing like too heavy, too crazy with the bronzer today. And then I'm going to be using this Morphe blush palette. This is in Blind Date. And I think that these colors pair so nicely with that Rose Frequency palette. So you've got some like creams and like the powder. So I'm like, I don't even think I'm going to use the creams today just because of this L'Oreal foundation does not do well with creams on top. So we're just going to go in with the powder in this Morphe palette. But I did use it yesterday with that middle cream shade and it looked beautiful with those two paired. Because that middle cream shade kind of has a little bit of like a sheen in it. So it does look really pretty underneath. But I could see myself using this Blind Date palette a lot, like this blush. It's a nice everyday rosy blush color, which is just kind of like my typical blush that I would normally use. I'm just going back with just like my powder brush just to kind of tone down a little bit of the powder, or a little bit of the blush. Blend it. Taking my sponge, blend around the edges. All right, and I wanted to use like a fun highlight today, so I'm gonna use this BECCA in Prismatic Amethyst, which I'm pretty sure they still sell this. It's like BECCA Smashbox. So I just thought that this would be fun to pair with that Rose Frequency because it's kind of like a rosy purple highlight. I know we're not really into these colored highlighters anymore, but I still think it's fun to play around with products like this. I still enjoy them anyway. So pretty. Like, this just really brings back some memories. Like when the highlights were such a huge thing in the beauty community. Okay, so I'm gonna set everything with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Alright, so off camera, I went ahead and applied my mascara, and on my upper, I just used the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal, and on the lower, I used the e.l.f. Lash Extender, because this does not smudge. This one does smudge on the lower lash line on me, so that's why I definitely don't like using that mascara on the lower. But I need to try to start rotating some of the mascaras in my collection instead of just always using the Maybelline Lash Sensational. Like, that is just like my go-to mascara, my ultimate favorite, but I need to rotate what I have. I do like this Paradise Big Deal. It is a really nice mascara, so yeah, I definitely need to rotate a little bit more. Got like these baby hairs. All right, so for the lips, I've been debating on what I want to use, but I think I'm going to use the Maybelline Teddy Tint. This is the Superstay Teddy Tint in Current Mood. Like, it's been forever since I've used this, so I kind of want to also revisit this again. And I think this would go really good with that blush. Here's this makeup look completed. So you can see even after I used that Milani Make It Last setting spray that it definitely brought some luminosity to this foundation, but love the eye look, love the blush. I really like the way that this makeup look turned out, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this Get Ready With Me today, featuring like this Morphe eyeshadow palette and that new Morphe blush. So I will come back in 10 hours just to kind of see how this foundation holds up today. And then we can also see like how the eyeshadow and blush is holding up as well. But it is currently 6:54 a.m. So I'll probably see you guys like slightly right before 5 or right around 5 o'clock, and we'll do an update. But yeah, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Okay, I'm back and it's 5:01. So it's been 10 hours since I saw you guys this morning. I hope that you guys had a good day, even though you just saw me a second ago. But this is how the makeup is looking. So the blush held up well. The eyeshadow has held up well, except for I have gotten a little bit more like glitter fallout underneath this eye. But the main thing that we were wanting to look at is the foundation. Like, how did it hold up? And I was looking at this before I started filming. It's held up decent. Like, it really hasn't worn off too bad. Like, up here around my forehead, it's kind of worn off. I guess just from like, you know, moving my hair back and stuff throughout the day. And I mean, it might have worn off like my mouth a little bit, like around my mouth and nose. But I mean, overall, it's held up pretty good. I mean, like, obviously, as you can see, it's gotten a little bit more shiny throughout the day. So, I mean, it's not like my absolute favorite foundation, but I will continue to use that up. I definitely don't think that that foundation, that this L'Oreal Skin Ink is worth $18.99. Definitely not. I have other foundations that are a lot more affordable than this, that lasts much better throughout the day. So I definitely don't recommend this stuff. Don't go out and get this. It's not worth the price tag. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this Get Ready With Me wear test on that foundation. So I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.